But once you got a taste of hip hop, it was almost like as a child you were possessed. You dreamed about it, you ate it, you shit it. You tried to make it.
You know, one of the things I seen in the Bronx, which was amazing to me, when I walked up on this park and I saw these 4 MCs wearing long trench coats, and there's one dude on the beatbox.
Certain artists that you used to love looking at their graphed up trains or art?
So I lived on the borderline of Mount Vernon and the Bronx, and I used to be a graffiti artist.
And we said we're working on something called Strong Island. When they heard it, they went berserk, and they decided that would be the A-side. B-Boy Records wasn't the greatest situation financially and stuff. We're very thankful for them because we wouldn't be here without them.
It shows you the power of the music as well, because like they just said, they didn't have a music video. They just had some album covers, and it stood the test of time.
Another DJ Stretch Armstrong and Barbito the Barber. Yes. Many people don't know that Stretch Armstrong is the executive producer of Big Tracks.
Big Tracks contains that DeBarge joint sample, and they came out with it before Biggie Smalls did.
Taking your name belt buckle out your bag, and look what I got. Look, I got the gold letters with the silver frame. And look, I got the one with the spike belt.
You've got to give a shout out, massive shout out to Dapper Dan.
Yes.
You know what Dapper Dan was doing as well? That was
when
like
Chuck D said Strong Island, where I got him wildin'. It sparked us to turn around and make an anthem and say, you know what?
It was the T Connection, Disco Fever, and all that. I used to go to the Roxy's also.
The Roxy.
The Roxy's.
What was the Roxy like?
Oh, the Roxy's was the place to be. That's where Jazzy J used to be at playing at.
What did you think of the film The Warriors? Did you love it?
Oh man, that was my favorite movie.
Me as well.
Put it this way.
Film as well.
I'm gonna tell you like Taxi Driver.
Oh, don't get me started. Taxi Driver. Yeah.
You talking to me?
You took it
talking
to me?
me?
Yeah.
I met Sonny Carson. He used to hang in Latin quarters. You know, his son was Boomer from the X-Clan.
I remember one of the first movies my father took me to. And I don't think he took it to me because I needed to go. I think he just wanted to see it. It was Death Wish 1.
Oh yeah.
When you talked about what did we expect to be here, what I think I speak for B. In 1988, I never thought I would be sitting in a cab in London doing an interview.
Well, did you love it in the studio, Mo? You love like
I love it, especially like working with Paul C.
Yeah, Paul C. What an absolute legend. Yeah. Mo Love, how about you, man? How did you get your name?
Well, I had another name before that.
I had the Frankie Knuckles tapes. Then I had the DJ Ron Hardy tapes. Well, you know, a lot of people don't know about Ron Hardy unless you're from Chicago. He's really the godfather of house music.
We're gonna blow the roof off. Right, get the sirens ready. Gonna kick off the sirens, and then we're gonna drop. On this week's show, we have an hip hop extravaganza. The cab is bursting at the seams with hip hop superstars. We have record label owner Marc Davis from Black Pegasus Music in the back. Also alongside the legendary DJ Mo Love from the ULTRAMAGNETIC MCs and the People's Choice crew.
That's right.
And straight out of Islip, Long Island, who have brought us stone cold killer classics like Doing Damage, Styling Lyrics, Smooth and Mellow, Tear the Show Up, and one of my personal favourite ever tunes of all time, Strong Island. We have the legendary, the mighty, the JVC force in the back of the motherfunking world-class ULTRACAB. Woo!
What's up? And
look
what
at this.
Finally.
This is like
ULTRACAB.
This is a hip-hop takeover. I've never I've never had 4 in the back like this. This is legendary. And it's a real blessing and an honour to have you all in the cab. And
thank you, Steve. Thank you.
And the thing is, I've got a cup of tea and and some cake and all that. Maybe we'll rock that later because we've got record bags in the back of the cab. It's it's proper it's banged out in it at the moment. So maybe we let.
And all kind of good stuff in there.
So I don't think we've got room for the tea, but we might pop it out later. But also I want to give a big shout out as well to Prick Halsey and Blade as well.
Yes.
Big shouts,
Big
guys.
shout out to Blade and Prick.
Yeah, big shout out to all of them. Right, so let's get it started. I mean, JVC Force, this is the first time, you've played in London, which is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. How did that kind of come about?
It came about, thank you to Mark. Mark was out here, and he spoke to a couple of people in the Netherlands at the Urban Matters, and he mentioned our name, and you know, they knew if he could get us out here, it would be big, and we were happy to come. So about a year ago, we started putting the show together for out here, and here we are.
And you're in the back of the London Iconic as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I must admit as well, it's an amazing venue you're going to be playing in on Wednesday night. Such a great venue. And how did you, how did you hook up with Mo Love as the DJ? Because Mo, you're DJing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
For JVC.
Yeah, I'm gonna be DJing for them, and I'm gonna be DJing for myself also.
Oh, really? You're going to
I'm
be
gonna be
spinning?
playing all the old school breaks,
Wow.
jazz, funk,
Yes.
all stuff from the '70s.
And we gotta give Mark credit for that too. Mark is the connection between us, JVC and Mo Love.
Oh, really?
Mark made all this happen. Yes.
Wow.
But I got to give a shout out to Hans from Urban Matters because
Right.
he's really the nucleus of it. Because when I went to Eindhoven last year with ULTRAMAGNETIC, and I was we had a conversation, and he was asking me, he's telling me he had a big festival going on in the Netherlands and stuff. He said, well, who do you know? And I said, well, I know a couple people. And I said, JVC for us. And he just went crazy. He's like, oh, that's my favorite group. And I said, well, we're going to make it happen. And here it is.
Well, it's going to be an absolutely legendary show. There's no two ways about that. And I know every single one of you is just going to blow the roof off this venue like the old days. Do you know what I mean?
It's what we came to do.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be done. London is hyped.
Yeah.
We
We came to blow it up, man, but also we came out here with a lot of love. So, we're looking forward to ripping the party down, but we're also looking forward to meeting and greeting the people, having the opportunity to meet everyone and giving everyone the opportunity to meet us. It's been 37 years. We're thankful. We're blessed. And again, we're here with a lot of love for the people.
Yeah, well, it's going to be absolutely massive, and we can't wait. But I'll tell you what, let's kick this straight off with the interview. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts. AJ Rock and B Love, you're both from Long Island, Islip. I mean, you've known each other since you was about 5 years old. Long time.
I was 5 and AJ was 7. Yep, and here we are growing old together.
Wow.
So we knew each other. We knew each other way before we couldn't do for ourselves.
Wow. That's that. So you are basically.
That's my brother.
That you are proper brothers. Yeah. Family.
Yeah. Godfather to his daughter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. You go that far back.
Brother to my sister, brother to his sister. Wow. We go back close. Yeah.
And Long Island. I've looked at the map of Long Island. It covers like Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau County, and Suffolk County.
Mm-hmm.
What actually come out of Long Island, in terms of hip hop superstars, is absolutely mind blowing, isn't it? I mean, so many legends. Can you tell me about someone apart from yourselves? Can you tell me about a few of them other legends that have come out of Long Island?
A couple of the legends that come out of Long Island. Long Island, I would say, is famous and infamous for controlling the third generation of hip hop, the golden era. In that golden era, we had Public Enemy, we had Eric B. and Rakim, we had Biz Markie, we had EPMD, of course us, JVC Force, Craig Mack, Keith Murray, De La Soul, leaders of the new school. Can go on and on and on and on.
Rakim, LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, I believe, was born in Long Island also, yeah.
Biz Markie. Biz Markie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sugar Bear as well.
Sugar Bear. Shout out to Sugar Bear.
Yeah.
I mean, De La Soul, Third Base. I mean, there's so many. We could sit here for probably 5 minutes reeling these legends off.
Yes.
It was a real one of the meccas of New York, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it was really popping off, that hip hop bug.
Yeah, and it came at a time also where we brought in, I think, the sampling era. So we were able to go ahead and make some really, really great records individually as groups with some very serious soul records. The radio at the time had space, so it was perfect. And, with the engineers in the studio at the time in Long Island having the ability to loop music, it gave us the ability to go ahead and lay things on top. And again, the era was sample friendly, so no one sued us and no one tried to do anything. In fact, I believe that some of the music we made at that time during the golden era hip hop, it allowed soul artists to come back and perform again.
You know what you guys were doing as well, in terms of you were sampling those wicked records, but what that was doing, that was giving those groups or individuals like a shine as well. So you was like reigniting some of their careers.
Correct.
From the music you were sampling.
Correct. And big shouts out to you know, Frida Payne.
Yes.
You know, one of my dad's favorites. You know, when we put Strong Island together, the whole idea was to find something to go over it, to go over the main beat that we used. But you know, flipping the album over and finding a second Frida Payne sample. We put that together. I think we were probably one of the first groups in hip hop to actually put together a hip hop record with 2 samples from the same artist. So we want to give big shouts out to Frida Payne. She was beautiful when she was growing up, and my dad loved her. So you know, he had a lot of her music, so he was able to introduce it to us. And you know, supportive fathers and supportive mothers allowing us to do the hip hop. You know, they let us dive into their collections, and that's what we did. And you know, the idea to do the Frida Payne came along, and once we heard it and went to the studio, we didn't know exactly what would happen, but we knew that we had something. It felt great. So you know, it allowed us to continue to motivate us to keep moving on to make records and searching. But like I said again, big shouts out to our parents, because with the record collections that they had, we wouldn't have been able to buy those by that time, but they allowed us to dig through them, scratch them up, and that's what we did.
100%, because hip hop was still in its like early days. So
yes,
that kind of music from like the early 70s, you know, from your mum and dad's collection, you know, they was really inspirational, because you was already on that thing anyway, weren't you? Listening to what R&B and funk and soul.
Yeah, the 60s, the 70s was a very big inspirational period. And yes, our parents let us go through our records sometimes reluctantly, but
they always wanted them back.
Yeah.
By the time
I hope you didn't scratch them up.
Yeah, by the time we gave it back, it had a lot of grooves in them. You know?
Yeah. But this is the big question. I mean, how did you all get into you know, into hip hop? I mean, was you kind of, it was developing as you was kids anyways?
I would say that hip hop was a thing when it came out, and we got our influence, like I said, from the crews early on, like the Cold Crush Brothers and stuff. But once you got a taste of hip hop, it was almost like as a child you were possessed. You dreamed about it, you ate it, you know, you tried to make it. And hip hop was the kind of thing that continued to progress on and on. So as long as you stuck with it, you got better at it. And like I said, you know, it was just a possessing feeling. I remember we used to dream about hip hop. You know, we used to dream that we were crews like the Cold Crush. And as a result of it, you know, coming up and perfecting what we were trying to do, we decided that, you know, 2 guys had to sound like 4. Like the Cold Crush, and therefore JVC is one of the only groups out there that on stage heavily harmonizes. You'll see tomorrow night. It's not a joke. It's a lot of years of practice. It's a lot of years of endurance. It's a lot of years of hearing no, but you get to a point, you perfect your craft, and you live with the lyrics. And we've lived with them for so long, and 37 years later, yeah, we're here to go ahead and do it again.
My inspirations were early Melly Mel, Grandmaster Caz, and Kumo D, early Kumo D.
Yeah.
And in high school, I used to listen to the Awesome 2 on WHBI. They came on Thursday nights from 2 to 4 in the morning. I was sitting there with my headphones. I'm in high school just imagining I'm going to be on that show one day. Like, you know, just imagining. And you know, those things. And then I lived, even though I was born in Mount Vernon, moved to Long Island, moved back to Mount Vernon, so I was on the borderline of the Bronx. So I got to see some of the early stuff like the T Connection and some of those things, and a Zulu rally or 2. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't old enough to be at a lot of this stuff, but I still was going.
You heard about it?
Yeah, I was able to go to some of it, and then, you know, get a lot of it on tapes and bring the tapes back to Long Island.
Yeah, I mean, they're incredible MCs. I mean, obviously Busy B and Coke La Rock and all them, you know, I mean,
Shout out to Coke La Rock, just met him last couple of days ago.
Yeah, Melly Mel, absolutely legendary, you know, setting the levels at the highest standard. Mo Love, how about you? Was there any early MCs that you was kind of, that you was digging as well?
You know, the Treacherous 3, the Furious 5, you know, Cool Herc, Jazzy J, Jazzy AMCs,
Yeah.
And a shout out to Shark, to
Yeah,
Sharrock and all them as well. Sharrock.
Sharrock, yeah, of course, yeah. And Debbie D is my cousin. You know Debbie D from Beach Street? That's my cousin.
Debbie D.
Yes.
Is she? Big shout out to Debbie D. And she's, Debbie D, she's a collection of flyers are incredible.
Yes.
She's a real flyerologist.
I was just with her about a week ago. We had a family function up in Harlem.
Yeah, she's absolutely legendary. Also Lisa Lee. And,
Lisa Lee, yeah.
And how about the DJs? There were some amazing DJs back then. You had the Latin Rascals, Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa,
Charlie Chase.
yeah, Charlie Chase. Tone.
Never leaving the girls alone.
And Jazzy J as well, and WizKid.
Yes.
Grand Wizard Theodore. There
Theodore,
was so many.
He's the grandmaster of the scratch.
Yes.
That they must have been. Was they inspiring you as well? AJ Rock. Let's go to AJ Rock. Was you loving those DJs?
Yeah, the DJs. It was just amazing. One of the things I seen in the Bronx, which was amazing to me, when I walked up on this park and I saw these 4 MCs wearing long trench coats, and this one dude on the beatbox. It was Flash and the Furious 4. Raheem wasn't down yet. This was before the record, and they were performing Flashes on the beatbox live in the park. Wow. And that was the dopest thing I ever seen in my life.
If I wasn't already sold, goosebumps.
Yeah, and if I wasn't already sold, and that did it for me. Like that, to see that live, I was like, yo, I want to do this. Like really, really. Also, Shyrock, and she knows this because we talk a lot. She was my first hip hop crush. She knows. No, we talk a lot. She knows this. So yeah, she was my first hip hop crush.
And big shouts out to Angie Stone, rest in peace, from the Sequence.
Angie B, yeah, definitely.
Sequence.
100% Sugar Hill.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know.
Funk you up.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of people didn't know until after she passed that she was a legendary hip hop artist.
100%.
Yeah.
That's 1979 that come out, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolute tune. Yeah, Angie Stone, another legend as well.
They were actually, I think, the first female group to get a record deal or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, the first female group to get a hip hop record group to get a record deal.
Yeah, 100. And did you love looking at graph as well? I mean, you must have been growing up looking at the graphed out trains and all that. Did you was there certain artists that you used to love looking at their graphed up trains or art?
So I lived on the borderline of Mount Vernon and the Bronx, and I used to be a graffiti artist.
Oh, you used to graph?
So yeah, I was in one of the little graffiti crews. I wasn't a big person in the crew. I was just one of the little guys.
What was the graph crew called?
TGF, the Graffiti Force. And the big dude in there was Rem 311, and all the graffiti people knew him. He was great. And Larry Matt LM 411. Those are the two the founders of it. And all the graffiti crews in the city and the 5 boroughs know who they are. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you ever go painting the trains, or was you more of tagging and all that?
We did a little bit of the train. I really wasn't that. I was more tagging.
It was more of a tagger.
Tagging. Yeah. I was letters, always the letters, and every now and then a few characters, but mostly letters.
And like in the Bronx, you had all these park jams and block parties. Mm-hmm. Was it like that in Long Island as well? Did you have the park jams and the block parties?
You had block parties, more like we blocked off 2 blocks and you had a big block party. But there were places like the Rec, and that they had them big outdoor jams.
Yeah. I remember probably around the time I was maybe around 11 years old or so, seeing Biz Markie for the first time at a block party from a local crew in our town, and he begged them all night for the microphone, and then he started to do the beatbox, and they didn't understand it and took the mic away from him. And I bet you at this time that's the biggest regret they probably had, because the beatboxing became so big. But there were people, if you paid attention and, like I said, studied the craft and continued into the craft, there were people that was determined to do what they needed to do from the time that they were a kid also, and he was one of them. So
Biz Markie, big R.I.P. to Biz as well.
Yeah, rest in
big
peace
R.I.P.
too,
to
man.
Biz.
Rest in peace.
We loved him in the UK as well. Biz was like, his beatboxing and, his style, his fashion, his flavour, what he used to wear as well, and his personality as well. you know, absolutely legendary status.
Yes.
Very down to earth.
Did you meet Biz quite a few times, Mo Love?
Yes. Used to be around my way, Albee Square Mall, doing the B-bots and having little MC battles and all that stuff.
You know what I learned this weekend, funny enough, this weekend, being on a hip-hop panel with so many great hip-hop groups that were close to Biz, like Cash Money and Marvelous and different people like that. He wasn't born in Long Island. He's from Harlem.
Oh, is he? From Harlem?
I knew folks that grew up with him in Harlem, and they know his history. We always thought that because Biz was everywhere. Biz, wherever he went, he had love. I don't know too many people that don't have a picture with Biz. Everywhere he shared love. But I heard this weekend he was originally from Harlem. Yeah. Yep.
But you know what come out of the whole of New York, out of all the boroughs, was incredible. You know, and hats off to every single DJ, MC, and graph artist, and b-boy and b-girl. You know, it was like what come out of the originally, obviously from the Bronx, where it first started in the South Bronx. You know, coming out of, you know, it was just like electric, wasn't it? This, you know, what was going on back then at the Cool Herc parties and.
Those are the legendary parties that, you know, like I said, with us being from Long Island, we looked in at the time, at the early days of hip hop, because we weren't from the city and we were from Long Island. We weren't looked at as a group that anybody felt like they could market. You know, hip hop was all about the projects. Like if you listen to The Message by Melly Mel, where he delivered probably one of the best hip hop lines in history. It talked about broken glass everywhere. I mean, we came up from a place where we were surrounded by water. Long Island's a peninsula. We grew up on the beach. So we had a different situation to sing about. But as JVC Force, when we did finally sign to B-Boy Records, which again, we were the first rap group to ever sign to a South Bronx record label, you know, they decided, go on back out there and do whatever you're going to do. They had no way, they didn't know how to market us. We were in the studio on our own. We were doing our own music. We were doing our own album covers and everything. So they allowed us to go ahead and go out there and do what we did and deliver it back to them. When the years started to move on, record labels slowly started to come to Long Island looking for talent and realized that, you know, music is growing and there's a big market out there. And again, a lot of the groups that we named that came from out there that had big, successful careers, like I say, we're just fortunate that we were one of the groups from the South Bronx record label that made them come looking.
Did you, how did they find you? Did you send them a demo or did you go and...
Yes, the first
did they
song.
find you?
Yeah, the first song that we actually, the song that we actually got signed for in the beginning, it was something that I did in high school. It was a senior class trip. We went to New Jersey's Six Flags Great Adventure, and I went into the microphone booth with a friend of mine, and we recorded a song called "The New School," and we put the New School in about 20 envelopes. It was originally I was called as a solo artist. When I went down to the Bronx to talk to them, I told them I came with a crew, and they asked us what did we have to work on for the flip side of the New School, and we said we're working on something called Strong Island. When they heard it, they went berserk, and they decided that would be the A side. New School now would be the B side, and it went from putting a demo in an envelope as B Love to becoming JVC Force, and you know, again. We were very thankful at that time. One of the things that we, I guess, did that was great was we stood our ground to be together, and we ended up together. So, you know, the deal came about.
And how did you hook up with, you know, Curtis Small, aka Curtis Cazell?
Kurt and I actually, we met when we were both, I think I was 5'2" and he was 4. And we went to a school named Cordello. Yeah, it was about first grade or something like that. But the thing about it is that after the first grade, I didn't see Kurt Cazell again until around like 8th grade or so when he started coming around the block. By about 10th grade, we began to put together JVC Force. All of us would practice, AJ, him, and I. The name of JVC originally was Justified by Virtue of Creativity. We felt as though we would get a little slack from the Japanese Victory Components Company, so we added the acronym FORCE for obvious reasons concerning entertainment. And we just practiced as that, and we went on and went on and went on. And by the time I think, I believe I was in first year of college.
Yes.
First year of college, we got a call to, again, like get a deal. And, even though some may say B-Boy Records wasn't the greatest situation financially and stuff, we're very thankful for them because we wouldn't be here without them. They're the ones that pushed Strong Island, and big shouts out to all the people around the world that played Strong Island for 37 years and fell in love with it. They're the other reason why we're actually here. So the combination of both and the thankfulness to both, we're very humbled that we were able to have the opportunity because of that.
And B-Boy Records, where was that? Cypress Avenue in the Bronx? Did you go down there to the office?
Like, yeah, around 138th.
138th.
Yeah. 132nd, right.
132nd in the Grand
Willis Avenue.
Right by Mitchell Projects.
Yeah.
Projects.
132nd in the Grand Concourse.
Yeah, so we had to go down. Yeah, we went down there often. Yeah.
And how was that when you got signed? That must have been such a highlight.
So here's a funny story. So I was working as an architect, doing architectural drafting. So we had to have a meeting down there. I'm coming from work, so I got a suit on and a briefcase. And I'm 2 or 3 years older than them, so they didn't think I was in the group. They thought I was their manager. Yes, they didn't even know. They didn't even know I was a member of the group at the time. So
really, the accountant.
Yeah. So it was funny. But yeah, we went down there. Another thing was a lot of the bigger labels had big rosters. Def Jam had a whole bunch of people. So when B-Boy called us, they had Boogie Down Production.
Yeah, BDP.
And it was just like, and then we were like, yo, we would be number 2 priority as opposed to being like number 10 priority somewhere else. So, and we didn't know better. So we, they did a lot of promotion for us. They did us right. But the song Strong Island that didn't exist when we were shopping would have gotten assigned anywhere. We found out later, but it didn't exist when we were shopping.
I mean, such a stone cold killer. I think didn't KRS-One design the B-Boy Records logo with the B-Boy character with the stereo?
He did.
Yeah.
And did obviously you met Chris KRS-One?
Yes.
Did you meet some of the other artists as well? You must have formed a little bit of a bond because you was on the same label.
Yes.
Just recently, I believe about a month before coming here, I finally met Sparky D. I know she was our record, she was our label mate.
That's right, yeah.
We met KRS-One. I never met Scott LaRock. Rest in peace.
Him once, just like months before he died.
And I spoke to D Nice one day. I just picked up the phone, kind of called him. He answered the phone and he said, "Wow, I haven't heard this name in a long time." But I believe even with D Nice, when we came on to B-Boy Records, I've heard D Nice say many a times, listen, this is the record that made me start wanting to DJ, and he played Strong Island. So we're very thankful to D Nice too. But I want to go back a little bit to what we were just talking about when you said, how do we feel when we got the contract? Here's the funny thing. We were young and all we wanted was a radio slot. So we got the contract, and they told us, take the contract and look it over. And we didn't know. We just wanted to sign something. So we took the contract to a real estate lawyer who agreed with everything on the contract. And that's kind of how we ended up with non-negotiable terms that wasn't that great. But again, we at that time we were young. We wanted to be on the radio. That's all we wanted to do.
You wanted to get your foot you wanted to get your foot in the door.
You're right. And if we knew better now, you know what I mean, I would have went ahead and I would have kicked the real estate lawyer out the door. Got a real lawyer, had some real terms.
Like a family lawyer, right? He was
Yeah. So and that's the way that worked.
B-Love, it's all a learning curve. You was young, and unfortunately that there was an element of that within some labels back in the day.
We didn't know the importance of an entertainment lawyer. No one had ever told us of it. Like nobody told us anything. We didn't really know. We know, like music business, we didn't know the business part of it at all.
The management end of it. We had a manager that owned a pillow factory.
Wait, it gets worse. We have a manager. So the head of B-Boy goes, "Do you have a manager?" He said, "No, I got one for you." They gave us Ray. They gave us a manager. Right. So we had a manager that came from B-Boy, which is a conflict of interest. But we didn't know. Like it was just a matter of getting in the building and getting in the business. You wanted to be on the radio.
He owned a company at that time, which was called I think Ray's Pillow World.
Yeah.
But it was a very very different time back then, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
But we lived and we learned, and thanks to the fans, we are here 37 years later. We came in an era we didn't have a video. There was no internet. There was no social media. There was no camera phones at shows and stuff. And without all of that, the reason we are here talking to you 37 years on our 37-year anniversary is because the fans who have kept the name JVC Force alive all this years. And I say it as much as I can for all the fans out there. We love you because you are the reason we're here, and we have this resurgence right now 37 years later where we hitting the road again, like, you know. So we have a song called Tear the Show Up. We plan to tear the show up everywhere we go and take and enjoy this ride.
Well, it's going to be an absolutely amazing show. And big up to all the fans as well, you know. I mean, you got fans from all around the world. Big up to every single fan, you know. And that, you know what? That actually means a lot what you've just said, AJ, because you appreciate your fans.
Oh, absolutely.
And for me, being a fan as well, that really means a lot. When I've done an interview with MC Search, he said the same kind of thing as well. You know, he really appreciates, you know, the fans.
Without the fans, real talk, we wouldn't be here. The fans are the ones who come to the show. Even back in the days, the fans are the ones that request your record on the radio. The fans are the one who buy your record. You know what I'm saying? And buy the magazines that write about you when you're in it. It's the fans. And like I said, without all of this, they kept us alive. They kept us all over the internet, sharing our stuff, you know, all of this stuff, playing it. Every time Sirius Radio Rock the Bells plays it, we get a call or somebody's phone showing us they're listening to it on Sirius Radio or something. So, and shout out to Red Alert, because Red Alert's the one who broke the record New Year's Eve 1988. He's the one who broke the record. So shout out to him for breaking the record.
Yeah, shout out to him again for allowing us as a young group to have our own sort of creativity. You know, back then, radio DJs got shout outs and promos. I believe we were the first person to give him a 2-minute promo, like a song.
Like we went to the studio and we recorded a song, like a because we just wanted to show our appreciation.
Yeah,
we didn't want to do those. Hey, we JVC, you listening to Red Alert? We made a 2-minute rhyme about Red Alert. You know,
yeah, and he played it for several years. You know,
even when we had no record out. Yeah,
right. The important thing, with as AJ said, the fans supporting us for 37 years. Every opportunity that we get to give back, we try to give back to the fans, and also, you know, the love that they've showed us. We try to make sure that we walk around in absolute peace and love, so that way we don't have to walk with bodyguards and stuff, and the people can shake our hands as much as we'd love to shake their hands and hug them and, you know, show them the same love that they showed us. So we feel like that's important. A lot of rap groups walk around with so many bodyguards and stuff because it's all an image, but there's no real image when it comes to the people that brought your records for years, and now they see you in the street and they can't get to you, or you say, I don't sign things, or, you know, that's not how we want to be categorized. So, you know, as we meet people, if you see us out here while we're here, hey, we'll be more than happy to stop, shake your hand, have a conversation, exchange social media, and become friends. Because again, it's the love that brought us this far.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
No doubt, no doubt.
I just want to add, like, it shows you the power of the music as well. Because like they just said, they didn't have a music video. They just had some album covers. And it stood the test of time. Not only you got hip hop fans, you got JVC Force, like a real cult audience, similar to like ULTRAMAGNETIC, super underground fans who just stay diehard, who buy, you know, that's how I got introduced to them. I heard their joints on the radio growing up in Chicago, WHPK, and then I had the Red Alerts and the Chuck Chillouts. Fortunately, I was able to get my hands on, and they always sounded very different. They didn't sound like anybody else. They had very eclectic samples. They was sampling cartoons, TV commercials. And I was like, yo, and then they had the ill flow. So they had a very distinctive sound. I just think that sound with the distribution, it just marinated around the world. You know, small as the audience as you may think it is, now you're seeing they're on the road over in Europe and the UK. So it's a beautiful thing.
I have to give a big shout out to another DJ Stretch Armstrong and Barbito the Barber. Yes. Many people don't know that Stretch Armstrong is the executive producer of Big Tracks. And the way that began is that he called me one day and he said, you know, B, you know, you guys been my favorite group for a long time. And he said, I'm in a new situation now, and I think I could bring you over. And he did. And, you know, again, with us recording Big Tracks and the way that Big Tracks was put together, at the time, we were leaving Idlers Records and we were going over to Big Beat Atlantic. He loved the Big Tracks, and he pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. But he's the reason why we got over to Atlantic Records, and he's the reason why probably you guys ever heard Big Tracks.
Oh, I just want to add, and you know, Big Tracks contains that DeBarge joint sample, and they came out with it before Biggie Smalls did. Shout out to Biggie Smalls, rest in peace. But I always liked the Big Tracks when that record was just banging and hard. I remember when I first heard that record.
The Muppets is on that.
Yeah, they sampled the Muppets. It's
we're one of the only 5 artists on that same record to sample Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It? So the Big Tracks contains, again, about 3 to 4 samples that people, you know, you knew who Tina Turner was, you knew who DeBarge was and stuff like that. You know, you knew who the Muppets was, and you know, we put it together with a wicked chorus riff, and we wrote to it. It was one of the only songs that we wrote to after we finished the production. That's why it breaks down so intricately at times. But like I said, you know, again, no one would have ever probably heard that record if we didn't hook up with Stretch Armstrong, if he didn't give us a call. He could have loved a lot of hip-hop groups, but he said we were his favorites. So we're, again, thankful to him.
Yeah, you got to big up all the DJs. I mean, there were so many DJs that were especially cutting up Strong Island as well. I mean, you know,
Chuck,
just
big shouts out to
many.
Chuck Chill Out. We just did Chuck Chill Out's show before we came out here.
WBLS,
Yeah, WBLS New York.
The Awesome 2. And shout out to Tim Westwood. Tim Westwood out here. Tim Westwood showed us lots of love out here. There's other ones, but he's the main one that I remember. He showed us, he showed us mad love out here. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I used to listen to him when he was on a station called LWR, which was a pirate underground radio station.
Yes.
I used to listen to him on that. I think something that you'll all agree is what hip hop done for us. It opened up our knowledge with all styles of music. It could have been from like obviously funk and soul, but not just that, also like film movie soundtracks and kung fu movies, and you know, all these samples, like, because you was going out trying to find these breaks, these samples, it opened up a whole world of new music.
And most importantly, what made hip hop go so far was not just the hip hop music, but the hip hop lifestyle.
Oh yeah, without a
Because
doubt.
the lifestyle traveled, and everybody, you know, they if you didn't know what hip hop music was, or you couldn't afford to buy it, you know, you can go into your parents' their closet, grab their blazer, grab their hat, bend it a certain way, put your sneakers on, and go outside, and you were hip hop.
Fashion is one of the elements of hip hop,
right?
Without a doubt.
And that helped take it very, very far.
Oh, staying on that fashion thing very quickly. Where was you buying your garments from? Was you going like Delancey Street and all that?
Delancey Street.
Because I know the Ultras, they looked amazing, you know.
We used to go to Delancey Street, and we used to go to Jewman's. Jewman's,
In the Bronx.
Over there, and also Third Avenue, 149th, 125th, and up in Harlem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stores over there.
To VIMs and Model.
Yeah. Dr. J's.
Full of like sneakers. And,
Wow.
Yeah. But with us coming from Long Island, we used to come from Long Island on the train, and we used to come down all the way to like Jamaica Avenue,
Coliseum,
the Gertz Mall, all of that, to just buy Adidas and Cazal glasses. And
go back the Cazals as well.
And go pick up a Kango at the World of World of Stetson or something like that. Go pick up a Kango hat and go back to Long Island and just go ahead and like put your pose on. And so we admired the city a lot. Even though we might not have had some of those stores in Long Island, we knew where it was going down at. And, you know, we got together as friends and we went down there and we spent our money there. And we came back to Long Island looking like, you know, at times that, you know, we were hip hop artists before we had a deal.
And more importantly, it's just like going down to the city and getting that thing that they don't have around your way, so everybody can't get it. You know what I'm saying? So you like kind of stand out a little bit because
you know, fresh.
You know, where you get that from? Like, yeah. So
Taking taking your name belt buckle out your bag, and look what I got. Look, I got the gold letters with the silver frame, and look, I got the one with the spike belt. And
shout out to Tokyo Gifts. That's where I got my first in Mount Vernon on 4th Avenue, South on the Ave. That's where I got my first belt buckle when I was in high school.
But then like, the fashion side, I mean, I love the fashion side. I mean, the Kangols are wicked with a little kangaroo. That's actually a UK brand as well, Kangol.
Yes.
But we got to give a shout out, massive shout out to Dapper Dan.
Yes.
You know what Dapper Dan was doing as well? That was like...
I never had a chance to get a Dapper Dan made suit, actually. I've always wanted one, but I never had a chance. But what he's done for fashion and what he did, he's as hip hop as the artist. Like, I mean, he's a staple of hip hop too. Yeah.
I believe he made me a bally suit.
Wow.
A tan bally suit with the red and the bally. And I think I posed with it on the picture from.
Yeah, you do have.
And I had on ballies in that picture because I mean that came from him. I believe at the time, right, he had a spot on like 125th or something, and I would see rappers go down there to pick up like these suits by like threes. Like one time I went in there to get my one suit, and he was like, "Yeah, those 3 are for Kane, those 4 are for Cool G Rap," and I was like, "Wow, if I could only afford to buy 4." But he was a very, very talented individual, and he deserves all the props and accolades that he gets to today.
And I will say as well, there was so many, you know, inspirational hip hop legends that look absolutely popping. I mean, Rakim, he looked amazing. Bismarcky, you know, the ULTRAMAGNETIC MCs looked incredible. I mean, you know, everyone looked just so good as well, wasn't it? With the big rope chains and...
I also want to give a shout out to the Shirt Kings and Coliseum. They combined graffiti because coming from my graffiti background, they combined the graffiti and the fashion, and they did the hoodies and the sweatshirt. So I want to shout them out because they definitely laced me up really good.
But definitely big shout out to Dapper Dan, man. He never made Valor look so good on people, you know.
Yeah, no, he was incredible. And Mo Love, have you got any garms, you know, from the old days? I've heard you're a bit of a collector.
Yeah, but I gave mine away. The polo outfit I had, I gave it away to someone.
Oh, that's a shame, man.
Yeah, I wish I could have kept it for myself.
Put that in the museum.
Yeah, I know.
And B-Love, have you got any of your original garms from back in the day?
I got a couple of jackets from Label or so, you know, have my Big B jackets, maybe a sweatshirt or two. But, you know, not a lot of stuff, you know, certain things, you know, back then, you know, saying we outgrew. You know, I was obviously I was a lot smaller in high school. So, you know, to think...
I know, I bought a Run DMC t-shirt from the Raising Hell tour in 1986. I was like 15 or something.
Maybe I still have a belt
And about
buckle.
10 years back, I tried to pull it on. It was like, it come up to like here, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I weren't going to get into that.
Yeah. I think for us as entertainers, most of what we held on to was the music, the form, the wax, the cassettes,
About the flyers,
I still have a lot of the flyers. I have just about everything that JVC's ever put their hand on and stuff like that, you know. So all of that stuff is definitely in the book and plastic and stuff like that. And I remember some of the flyers I was looking at, you know, saying where I believe we were going to do a show or whatever, and it was like at the time in '88 it was like $8 to go in or something, you know.
And might have been the Toronto one.
I think it was like the one down in Yonkers.
Oh, okay, Arthur's.
And,
shout out to Arthur's. It's no longer there. Holding the wall in Yonkers.
$8 hip hop shows where you get to see like 2 or 3 great artists. And big shouts out to the old school. Like I say, we learned yesterday. You know, 50 Cent. You could have seen for 50 Cent. You could have seen about 10 hip hop acts. You know. That was a real true.
That was a lot of money back then. At that time, that was money. Like that really was. Yeah, that was the big element back then, you know. And, you know, then we got to the 90s, around 95, where the smoke and the lights and everything started coming out the stage, and then now the hip hop shows were $85. But again, we came from better.
We came from an era to where, like, you know what, like we didn't really get a lot of money through our time. But you know, we just wanted to come in and like just rock. So that's what we did.
And we're happy to have contributed our piece to the culture and to the history of hip hop. Like, you know, whatever little small role we play, we're happy that we were able to play that and create an anthem for Long Island that encouraged other people from Long Island to like really get. And I was reading in the comments today from people that saw the show and stuff. Not only did Strong Island encourage people from Long Island, some dude was saying, I forgot where he's from in the Midwest, it encouraged him to start representing his city. Like, I was like, wow, that's kind of really
His
deep.
name was Marc
Something, yeah. He
Davis.
Oh no! It wasn't Mark Davis, but somebody. I just read that comment in the last 24 hours, and he was talking about, even though I wasn't from Strong Island, it made me it gave me the permission to represent where I was from. So and there wasn't really, you didn't really know, Eric B ran with Rakim ran with Eric B, and he was from Queens or Brooklyn. So a lot of people thought that's where Rakim was from. And if you really didn't know, a lot of people didn't know Public Enemy was from Long Island. So, Rakim said Rough Enough to Break New York from Long Island. And what we sampled, Chuck said, Strong Island, where I got him wildin'. And shout to Chuck D and the whole Public Enemy. But other than that, there were a lot of people. Prince Paul was the DJ for Step, but they was in Brooklyn. You didn't even know he was from Long Island. So, it was just like Strong Island just gave that anthem like South Bronx did for the Bronx, and Queensbridge did to that area in Queens, and all of that. And it was that. And then you start seeing a lot of people start repping their area and repping their hood and making records about where they're from. So we're glad to have been able to play a part in that and be largely the reason why they call Long Island Strong Island now. Like, that's huge, and it wasn't the money there is now. So, I'm glad we have this resurgence now that all the money's out there so we can start getting some of that too.
From one area of when somebody said something, when Chuck D said Strong Island, where I got him wildin', it sparked us to turn around and make an anthem and say, you know what? The competition in Long Island is getting so thick. The groups out here are so good.
Was it to sample Chuck's voice from the track?
All of ours.
All you had input.
All of us, yeah, because
you must have been a huge fan of Chuck D.
We were.
Still are.
Rebel Without a Cause is still one of my favorite songs. But the thing is, I asked Chuck one time, you sued a lot of people. Why didn't you ever sue us for using the sample? And he said, Long Island needed that record. And we didn't know how we would go ahead and hang out and hang with the groups that were coming out, because there was so many groups that were great. But we knew if we could do an anthem, we'd at least have the one song. And fortunately, with having the anthem, the Doing Damage album, I believe was a pretty good album. We followed with Force Field. But again, having the anthem of a song, songs can play for a certain amount of time, but a good anthem will live forever. So fortunately, like Brooklyn's in the House, the Bridge is Over, or the South Bronx, or the Bridge, we have Strong Island. And, it made people feel as though, let's go up there and see what it's all about. They stopped criticizing, and the artists started coming out to Long Island and buying homes. They started understanding what our concept was. The older that you get, you don't have to see the crime everywhere. You don't want to, be a part of certain things. Your life doesn't become any more better or enhanced because, you're in a crimey project environment. It's about the quality of living. And a lot of the artists turned around and they started to go to Long Island to buy their homes, and still own those homes out there to today. So again, we're proud to be able to shout Strong Island, even though it's a suburb. We felt like we've stood the test of time, and we've definitely stood up to the city rappers.
Or you firmly put it on the map.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Permanently.
Yeah.
Not just a minute, but like a permanent stamp, yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing, back then obviously it was vinyl. One of the biggest selling points, as well as having a great tune, was great artwork. Some of those records, I mean, as you said, Be Love, Rebel, the artwork as well. Remember that with the yellow lighting in the car park with the goose jackets on. The Ultramagnetic MC's Critical Beatdown, you know, the cover of that album as well. I mean, there were so many.
Jeanette Beckman, she shot that.
Jeanette Beckman, that's right. Yeah, she did.
She was dope. She shot a lot of album covers. Shot the Criminal Minded album cover. The Critical Beatdown, quite a few. She's real hip hop. I think she's from the UK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think she is.
Yeah, she was
But
always
she's a
dope.
legendary photographer,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah, but even on the Doing Damage album cover, that's like a classic album cover. They sitting on top of a car, like
Yeah,
on a car. That's like nobody did that like that. And the way B Love is posed on there, and Kurt Gazelle, and you got AJ, that's classic. That's like a
classic.
cult record. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see that
Where
album
did
cover.
you shoot that?
So we was riding around, and it was
car
actually
was that?
it was actually an abandoned car, and we got and we damaged it some more and broke some windows and stuff, and then doing damage, and we
Well, you
just
wasn't going to get sued, was you?
yeah, it was somebody's abandoned car. We don't know who the owner of that car was. And it was just there abandoned.
And you took advantage.
Yeah, and we were taking pictures. We used to have those little box cameras, you know, the 110, and you
with
have
the
to drop
filming.
them out at Photomat or something to get them delivered.
The 24,
Yeah.
24 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to get those, and we used to just go around and take a lot of pictures. And one day, that's when we were taking the pictures. And when we were going through pictures, we decided to use that for the album cover. So
That's genius.
yeah.
Absolutely, you know, it's brilliant. I mean, there's just so many great covers. I mean, even dating back to like the 70s and the 60s. Some of the heavy rock stuff I love as well. You know, like I'm Maiden.
Yes.
Some of their stuff is mind blowing as well, isn't it, Mo Love?
Yeah.
I mean, you must have some mad collection, Mo. You got a big record collection.
Of course, I got a lot of stuff like Slave, Funkadelics, a lot of jazz. My father was a jazz collector. He bought a lot of records like from Duke Ellington and all that stuff. My father also used to work at a radio station, AM station, back in the, you could say in the 70s, early 70s.
But Mo got all the cassettes too.
Yeah, bro, I still got a lot of cassettes, you know.
You need to digitize them.
Yeah, it's stuff that me and Seth G used to do. We call ourselves having our own little radio station too. We used to make our own mixtapes and all that, and go around the city and play on. People used to buy it off for us too.
Or buy the tapes.
Yeah, the cassette tapes that me and Seth G used to do.
Did you have artwork on them as well?
We had a friend that used to do the artwork sometimes. It was all different types of different covers and all that.
And Mo Love, how did you start getting into the DJing in terms of the scratching and the mixing and all
Well, I
that?
started at the age of 12. I had a crew called the People's Choice Crew that I got with back in 1979.
When is it Dana Dane was in the
Danny Dane was down with us. Yeah, he was down with our little clique. You know, a lot of the guys that was down with us, they all passed away. Most of them. It's just a handful left of the People's Choice Crew.
And they was from
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
we was all from Brooklyn. We did parties all around the city. We did parties out in all around Brooklyn, East New York, Brownsville, and all that. Then we started going to Harlem. We started DJing up in Harlem, a couple of places up in Harlem. We did a lot of house parties and, Sweet 16 birthday parties. We was doing that. And then we ended up doing parties up in the Bronx.
And what turntables was you using? The Technics back then?
Yeah, it was
or?
Techniques, the B1s.
B1s, yeah.
And then they had the direct drive.
Say the SLB1.
Yeah, that's what B1s, yeah.
I think TR Love was telling me about them.
Yeah. It was like a
wicked turntable.
yeah, it had like a belt drive. And the D1s was direct drive. Then after that I got the 1200s. But to be honest, the first DJ set I had was Emerson's turntables. Emerson's. Yeah.
Where was you digging for your records? Where was you crate digging? Did you have a few spots?
Yeah, and I used to steal records from my pops too. But I used to go the first place I used to go was Rock and Soul and Music Factory on 42nd Street.
Yeah, legendary shop.
Yeah. You ever heard of Music Factory?
Yeah.
That's a popular record store. A lot of people from the UK used to go there.
I done a wicked interview with Sed G.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was telling me about Music Factory. Yeah,
that's a
legendary
proper
shop.
Yeah, that's the first place I started getting my records. Is at Music Factory and Rock and Soul. You know, Rock and Soul still exists. They just moved to a different location. They're not on 35th Street no more. They're on 37th and 6th Avenue.
And when was you going out over into the Bronx and any of them jams?
Yeah, well, because I was a little kid at the time. I mean,
Like T-Connection or any of them?
Not the club. I was too young to go to those clubs during that time. But I used to see them DJ in the parks and all that stuff.
Who was you
And
with?
we used to go on. This is back in 1974. It's 74, 73, 74. You know, because Seth lived in the Bronx, you know, and he lived in the areas where they used to have the parties at. And it was mostly outside parties. There wasn't no clubs and all that stuff. It was mostly outside. And after that, it was the T-Connection, Disco Fever, and all that. I used to go to the Roxy's also.
The Roxy.
The Roxy's.
What was the Roxy like?
Oh, the Roxy's was the place to be. That's where Jazzy J used to be at, playing at. And I seen Cheetah Rock in there performing, It's Yours, and all that stuff. You know, there was a big club. It had a roller skating ring also inside there.
Obviously, that's where they filmed part of the Beat Street scene as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Roxy's, yeah. And the Funhouse, too, was right not too far from each other.
And actually, one club I want to talk about that was legendary as well was the Latin Quarter in Times Square. What was the Latin Quarter like?
That was the place to be. I mean, that was back in 1986 when I first started going there. Red was the one that put me onto it, you know, because I hooked up with Red. Red was the one I got us our first record deal.
Red?
First, on the next plateau. But now, of course, that's where he used to DJ. So I used to go with Red, carry his records in there, and I'll go there. After that, I'll go with Chuck Chillout sometime.
Yeah,
he
another legendary DJ.
They had parties there on Fridays and Saturdays, and they also had parties on Tuesdays at Latin Quarters. They play hip-hop music and all that stuff. But after that, they had their little Latin music during the week, you know.
And who were some of the big artists coming through Latin Quarter?
Just Ice, Dana Dane, Melly Mel used to be there a lot. Mostly a lot of MCs, Bismarcky, Coogee Rap. You know, MC Shan used to come there with his posse and stuff from Queensbridge. Big Daddy Kane, you know. I say just about all the rappers that was out back in the 80s just come there.
Latin Quarter.
They hang on Latin Quarters, and after that they'll go to Union Square. And Union Square was the place to be, you know. That was the place where you get your chain snatched from the Brooklyn Cats.
There was a tunnel before the tunnel.
Yeah. Before the tunnel, yeah.
And growing up in the 70s, was you seeing much of the gangs?
70s. The gangs died down in 1979 after the movie The Warriors came out. After that, I didn't see no more gangs after that.
It started to slow down.
It slowed down. There was a lot of them just quit or they just kept it on the DL. But after the movie came out, Warriors, that was done. And The Wanderers.
What did you think of the film The Warriors? Did you love it?
Oh man, that was my favorite movie.
Me as well.
Put it this
my
way.
favorite film as well.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I like the director's cut, the one that came out, because there was a little animation on that. Yeah. That was kind of fly. I think that he should have did a little bit more animation on it. But
I've got it's called the composite version, so it's got all the uncut parts in one, like the full film. Well, you
see the director's cut, right?
Yeah.
That was hot, right?
Yeah.
I like that version of it.
You like that?
Yeah, love it.
I want to see the version you're talking about with all the scenes.
The composite version,
the cutout scenes.
The composite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wicked film, isn't it? And The Wanderers as well. That was a great film as well. Yeah. Are you big film buffs? Do you love?
I'm a big. Of course, man.
Give us a few of your favourite films, apart from The Warriors as well. But
I'll tell you the Beneath of the Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston.
The ending of that was incredible, wasn't it?
And the Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and the Planet of the Apes. I like Taking on Better 1, 2, 3. Taxi Driver.
Oh, don't get me started. Taxi Driver, yeah.
You talking to me?
You took
You
it
talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, my cousin is Rosalind Cash. She did a lot of. Yeah, she did a movie with Charlton Heston, Omega Man. She was
Bill Cosby's wife in the Bill Cosby City Party
movie. Yeah, Uptown Sunday Night. Yeah.
And I'll tell you a good one. I only found out about maybe 20 odd years back was The Education of Sonny Carson.
Yeah.
Man.
That was filmed right across the street from where I live at right now.
Was it really?
Yeah.
And it's got the guy from Cyrus from the Warriors plays one of the parts in The Education of Sonny Carson.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
But I have that movie. That was filmed like 1972 or something like that.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I met Sonny Carson. He used to hang in Latin quarters. You know, his son was Obuma from the X-Clan. That's his son.
Wow.
Obuma. You know the guy. This is all protected by the red, the black, and the green. Yeah.
Sissy.
Sucker
think you can whip me.
Yeah, remember that line?
Yeah.
And how about did you love the horror films as well, like The Exorcist, like Tubular Bells, obviously the
That was
soundtrack,
kind of crazy, but I watched it. I like it. It was okay.
the Kung Fu movies?
Oh yeah, I like
All the
the
Kung Fu.
I like the five.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
All the kung fu movies, all the black exploits.
Yeah, Five Deadly Venoms.
Yep, and Cornbread Earl.
Me, yeah.
that
That's my cousin is in that too.
Lawrence Fishburne.
She's in that Cornbread. Yeah,
Wow.
They shot Cornbread.
yeah.
They shot Cornbread.
That's Jamal Wilkes, right?
That was Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
He was about 11
Yeah,
years old.
Actually, that was another good one.
My
as well,
cousin
wasn't it?
was in that movie
Assault
too.
on Precinct 13. That was another
Yes,
great film.
Assault on
John Carpenter, wasn't it?
Yes.
And the
yeah.
soundtrack as well to that was wicked as well.
What's the name of that movie you just said?
Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
You dun 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 dun.
Oh, I never seen that. Nah.
Ah, you would. I
gotta check
reckon. I
that
reckon
out.
you have, Mark. I reckon you've seen that.
There's a big name. I can't think.
Yeah, Fishburne in it.
Fishburne was the criminal. Yeah, he was the criminal in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a wicked film, isn't
He
it?
was like a crime boss, and they had him locked up. And
That
then
was that set in LA or somewhere?
I don't know where it was set. I don't remember.
The mad scene. Do you remember with the hit with the girl eating the ice cream? And
Yes.
When I was a kid, I remember one of the first movies my father took me to, and I don't think he took it to me because I needed to go. I think he just wanted to see it. It was Death Wish 1.
Yeah.
And then, and then the next week he turned around and he took me to a movie which turned out to me personally to be the greatest soundtrack probably for any movie, which was Saturday Night Fever.
Oh man.
You know,
What a film.
So my first movie I went to, I guess my parents couldn't get a babysitter, so my dad wanted to see Foxy Brown, but my mother did not know how bad it was. So it was a double feature. It was Truck Turner with Isaac Hayes and Foxy Brown. I watched Foxy Brown with my mother's hands over my eyes like this, like for most of the scene, and I was dying to see that movie. And then I had the pleasure of interviewing her 3 times. For Jackie
And I'll tell
Brown
you
and
what else we've got to give it to as well. We've got to give it to Shaft and Superfly.
Oh yes.
Huh?
Yes.
And the soundtrack.
The soundtrack,
exactly.
Superfly, Curtis Mayfield. That's when a soundtrack was a soundtrack that accompanied a movie, not a compilation that you throw a bunch of people on just to sell a record. It was literally the soundtrack of a movie that accompanied, and soundtracks are not that no more.
and Roy Ayers was a monster on some soundtracks for movies too. I believe he did Coffee is the Color of Your Skin. And growing up, all of us wanted to be freaking King George when she walked past that fish tank naked.
Talking about movies, don't forget Star Wars.
I was going to say Star Wars. Yeah, I was going to say Star
Don't
Wars.
forget that.
Before we forget, may the force be with you.
Yes, Jedi Master. Yeah, let's put out the lifesavers. Yeah, but they're wicked.
And since we're talking about movies, look out for my little movie I want to be in called The Seed. I'm going to be starring in a movie coming out next year. Yeah, called The Seed. I'm going to be a homeless guy.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like similar to Taxi Driver. Suspense movie about a guy looking for this gun.
Wow, didn't know that, Mo.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be incredible to see that.
When you talked about what do we expect to be here, what I think I speak for B. In 1988, I never thought I would be sitting in a cab in London doing an interview. I'm watching people walk by. I'm watching cars. This is like I couldn't have conceived that I would be able doing this right here. 37 years again, 2025. Yeah.
I cannot wait to take you on a little tour and show you a few of the key spots, which is going to be absolutely wicked.
Absolutely.
Talking of London as well, Mo Love. Yes. Talking of London, like you come here, I think it was around 88 or 89 actually, and played at the
we came out here with Tim Dog. It was us and Tim Dog.
Dingles, and you set that place literally on fire. The place literally went off.
When I played the chorus line with the UFO. The crowd went crazy.
It was completely crazy. Yeah,
and Tim took it over and said, "I'm going to use this for Fuck Compton."
Yeah, that was like it was such a great show. But I think a year later, I think it was around 1990, you also played the Brixton Academy and blew the roof off that.
Oh yeah.
And was that the one where Cool Keith come out in a straitjacket?
Yeah, he came out with a straitjacket.
Big shout out to Cool Keith and all the ultras and TR Love, Said G and everyone.
Yes.
I mean, Cool Keith is an absolute, an absolute diamond. He was cracking me up. Some of the stories he's got.
He's the original B-boy right there.
And an amazing dancer as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that he was down with the New York City Breakers.
That's right.
Yeah, he used to be with Crazy Legs and and plus Keith was down with Bambaataa and them for years. For years. Yeah,
he was an incredible dancer. But shout out to all of the ultras.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the studio, for what you had back in the day, for what you was doing in the studio was quite remarkable because technology hadn't really gone a long way. So what you had to use and the tracks you was coming out with were unbelievable. What did you love it in the studio, Mo? You love
I love it, especially working with Paul C.
Paul C. What an absolute legend.
Yeah, he helped us a lot on Critical Beatdown.
What was it like in the Ultra Lab?
The Ultra Lab was something that Cedric's brother put together in Keyboard Money Mike.
Keyboard Money Mike, shout out to him.
It wasn't really Ced G. He didn't really have nothing to do with it because at the time Ced G was in college. So that was more Cedric's brother, Patrick Miller, rest in peace, and Keyboard Money Mike.
Yeah, big shout out to all them without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you who else we need to give a shout out to as well. Was the engineers. Because
the engineers.
Certain tracks would not have been made unless it was for those engineers doing what they done, because you gave them the idea, I want to use this, do that, put that there, put that here. But they was constructing the and putting the tune together.
Yes.
With what they had.
Yeah, especially with Paul C. He had a big record collection and stuff that people never even use, samples and all that type of stuff. He had a lot of that.
He was crates of records,
producer.
And also, you must have loved, obviously, the Bomb Squad, Mantronics.
Mantronics, definitely.
They was like years ahead as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Marley Marl,
big shout out to all of them.
45 King too.
Yeah, 45 Kings.
Shout out to him, rest in peace.
Yeah, AJ Rock and B Love. How did you get your names as well?
My name actually was given to me. It was my graffiti name. I lived on Money Lane and 11th Avenue, the borderline. 241st came into 4th Street, and my original graffiti name is AJ Rock 241. That was my graffiti name. There was a graffiti artist in my high school commercial art class. His name was AK Rock, and he named me AJ Rock. And then there was another guy. His name was Daryl, D-E-R-O-L, but his name was Deroc. It was D-E-R-O-C. And I was so impressed you could spell rock without both the C and the K, but you couldn't bite. So I dropped the C in 83 for originality. So AJ Rock became my graffiti name onto my rap name.
And it stuck.
Yeah.
And B Love, how about you, man? How did you get your name?
Well, me, I grew up a certain way. So B Love stands for best love in the universal vicinity. The girls knew where the good times were, so they followed me, you know. And you know, ever since then, you know what I'm saying, I was like almost like an arrogant kid, they say. But I call it more confident and stuff like that. But yeah, I decided that, you know, when my name would be Beloved, that I would have to have, you know, an acronym for it. And that's what I came up with, you know, around the same time as when we did Justified by Virtue of Creativity, for obvious reasons concerning entertainment. Beloved was best love in the universal vicinity.
And he's still hugging the ladies and kissing the babies.
Oh yeah, all day. Just did it.
And Mo Love, how about you, man? How did you get your name?
Well, I had another name before that. It was called DJ Master Mel. That was my first DJ name, but after that, I changed it in 1985. Actually, the person that gave me my name was Seth G's brother, Tony Tone. Tony Tone. He was the one that gave me the name, Cedric's brother. And he called me Mo Love. And at first, I didn't really care for it. Then it just grew on me. I said, you know what, I'm going to roll with this one right here. I'm going to roll with Mo Love. And that's when I got down with Ultramagnetic. I changed it to Mo Love.
And Mark, let's go over to you. In terms of other styles of music, you know, like the house music was popping off as well, you know, in the kind of mid kind of 80s. It was really beginning to blow up. Was you massively into the house music as well?
Well, you know, yeah, definitely. But, you know, 83, 84, you didn't hear that term house. That came later. I didn't hear that term until probably like 85.
Was it club music?
It wasn't even club. It was just like people just referred to like, yo, do you mix? Yeah. So everybody had in their crate, you know, Den Dada, White Horse, Laid Back, you know, Love Sensation, Lolita Holloway, Hit and Run. Then you might have Man Parish, looking for the, you know, hip hop, bebop. Those are all everyone had those records. And then, you know, I was fortunate. I had the Frankie Knuckles tapes. Then I had the DJ Ron Hardy tapes. Well, you know, a lot of people don't know about Ron Hardy unless you're from Chicago. He's really the godfather of house music. He just died early, unfortunately, 91, but he was an innovative DJ. And then I had the Red Alerts and the Chuck Chillouts that I got from New York. So, you know, those type of rules, then, you know, some people were stuck on genres. I listened to everything, so it didn't bother me. But then as time went on, because, you know, at first in Chicago, we had you get doubles of This Time Baby by Jackie Moore, and you know, beat juggle them two records. And then when Ron Hardy started taking off, the house DJs or whatever, they quit doing tricks. And it was all about the blend, the mix. And so you had to hold the blend, you know, when you make your transition. So that's such a stickler with Chicago DJs that you gotta hold the blend, gotta be on beat. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I just kept going with more B-side disco records, jazz funk, jazz fusion records. You know, to now I got like African records. I got, you know, boogie records, some disco rap records that the average person may not know about. You know, me and Mo talk about these records all the time. And even when we was just in at the Urban Matters, me and Mo and Cash Money, that's all we was talking about, toys. And you know, he's crazy with it, and rare 7 inches and 40, you know, 45.
I mean, Cash Money he's a massive collector of
yeah,
I mean,
shout out to him.
When I interviewed Cash, he was telling me about some of his collection.
Yeah, he's down to earth too. He got so much stuff. Yeah, he got so much stuff.
Big shout out to Cash Money.
You know, you find your tribe out here, people that's into what you into. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you can't always do it. Like me, you know, I got records with me today. I'm not coming with the flash drive and none of that stuff. I don't have to. I just bring my joints. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into it, you know. And there was a club scene. JVC Force rhymed on house records.
It was like hip house, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was going to say about the hip house, because hip house was big in the UK as well. We was writing to hip house.
Yeah.
The record that we gave you just now.
Yeah.
That's Intro to Dance, and the flip side of it has a house version of another song. I think it's called what? It's my.
So you guys were getting into you was getting into house as well.
Yeah, well, you know, house music was the primary music. When hip hop first came out, you know, house music was there too. And when I was coming through college, in my college years, everything was about, you know, if you were going to go to a Kappa party, or you was going to go to a Sigma party, or you was going to go to whatever fraternity's party or whoever was throwing a party on a college campus, there was house music. And, you know, house was very prevalent. I mean, you know, all of us admired house, you know, so we went out and bought the big shoes at times. You know, we came through that era too, you know. But I think with house music, I think it gave us the agility, like coming into hip hop and stuff, knowing how to dance and different things, to take risk on the stage. A lot of the dancers back in the days that I remember, they hung out frequently at the house music clubs, and that's where they had so much agility to perform behind people on stage. And when the rapper would rap and they would do what they're doing and stuff like that, they can simultaneously do it because a lot of those dances that they were doing, it came from being in the house club.
I'm gonna say that even during the golden era, like those albums that came out 87, 88, they all had a club version, a house record. Paul C did a remix for Ultra's Traveling the Speed of Thought, where he used Let's All Chant. That was dope.
Casey Flight.
Yeah.
Planet E.
Yeah.
Roxanne Shante, she done a hip house.
King Son on the club tip. 45 King did a joint with Chill Rob G. Queen Latifah had a joint. So those records, you know, I guess the labels wanted to kind of cross over to that.
The Tyree Cooper as well.
Yeah, Tyree Cooper was doing stuff. Yeah. Sundance, she's from Chicago. She did stuff. She was dope. You know, but it was weird because you had Cool Rock Steady from Chicago. Actually, he dissed KRS on a record, house record, right? So even that genre was coming out in Chicago, but people that wanted to be real MCs or whatever, they didn't really want to gravitate towards that. So it was kind of a separation. But I like those records; they were dope.
When we first did the first single, one of the first singles that we did, like I said, was The New School for us personally. And then by the time we had gotten signed and we decided that we would go ahead and do something different now, we did a second version of The New School, which ended up on the album. But pretty much it was Martin's Disco Circus. Yeah. Big songs. And, you know, we were already at that time in Long Island listening to songs like El Coco, Coco Motion. And, you know, so it held the influence.
And also them early house events or house jams, they were a good vibe as well.
Oh yeah.
There was no trouble at them house parties.
Oh yeah. You know, we got to again give a lot of big credit to our parents, because at some form of age, like by the time maybe all of us in this car turned around like 8 or 9, our parents, whenever they had their parties, we were, you guys are going to play the records. You're going to play the records. Yes. And, you know, we got to do a lot of digging. And even like my dad, you know, when it comes to like soul records and stuff like that, you know, introduced me to records he was playing around in the house with, and when his friends would come over. So I would know when they come over and they're partying, hey, this time of the night they want to hear like Eruption or something like that. And, you know, we knew how to pull them out.
And also you done a reggae tune as well.
Yeah, Puppy Love we did, and we did some reggae on big tracks.
So you was obviously into your reggae sound as well.
Yeah, well, my family is from the Caribbean, so, you know, so we grew up listening to a lot of soca, like, you know, we're from Trinidad, so we have a big carnival like
you need to come to the Notting Hill Carnival.
I was going to say, yeah, we have a big carnival like London, so, you know, my mom came from a band. She was the first organist in Brooklyn. She come from a band called the Love Cats. You know, they made about 5 records also, and when I was a kid, I remember going through Brooklyn, Canada, Trinidad on the back of the truck. It was like an amazing experience, but my mom was like, you know, the keyboardist, and
did they have the steel drums and all that?
Yeah. That's I grew up on all of that stuff, so it's like, you know, it was easy for me to transition into reggae music. I believe it was 1974, 1975. I was in Brooklyn and I heard the first reggae record that came to Brooklyn that they were playing, and it was a song called Boops. You know, say Boops, say. Nah, yeah. So I mean, the transition at that point in time of hearing the reggae music and buying it and listening to it over and over and over, it brought on an influence to where when we first did doing Damage album, Kurt and I recorded a song called Puppy Love, and you know, we were chatting on Puppy Love through the whole record. And
we got a big love for reggae, you know, in London. I mean, we was listening to like ska music.
Yeah.
Back in the early, in the late 60s, early 70s, you know, Prince Buster, and you know, there was so many killer classics.
Yeah.
Norman J, he was doing stuff, right? He helped that.
Right. And then the house record.
Then
by the time we got to college, the house record came out. This is ska.
Yeah.
You know, so the influence moves along. Like what you hear when you're young is what you typically turn around and you try to create when you get older. And nothing that we did, don't get me wrong, nothing that we did as artists probably was in its original form. Even when it comes to rapping and stuff, in the 40s and the 30s, my dad was a historian. What was he pulled out a song that Nat King Cole did the whole album in Spanish, remember? And
Right. I remember that day.
and he used to sit us down and he used to talk to us and tell us like, what you guys are doing, people have been doing that since the 30s. Not so intricately as we did it, but the original form started way before we did. And
No, you're 100% right, B-Love, and also not just the MCing as well, also like the b-boy moves as well.
I was just going to say, I just seen videos of Sammy Davis Jr. and his father, and what them and another guy, three of them were doing. Technically is breakdancing, and they're doing b-boy and they're doing the moves. It's just like different music, but I'm like, it's this earlier version of what these things come in cycles. I mean, graffiti is almost going back to like hieroglyphics. Like, I mean, it's just like it's just these things recycle and they recycle. And the good thing about hip hop, like, it might not be in the original form, but it borrowed pieces of everything and created this new thing. So that was totally different than anything else that you ever heard before. And that was the amazing thing, because you didn't have, like the bands that were out there, and they were playing instruments. A lot of us didn't have instruments. The records became our instruments. The turntables became our instruments, so.
Well, you're totally right, and that's what hip hop was doing. It was taking that little tiny sort of 3, 4, 5 second sample and turning it into your own thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Apart from being on tour, what you up to nowadays? I know Mo Love, you're going to be like you're in a film, innit?
Huh?
But tell me, what's the name of that film you're going to be in next year?
It's called The Seed.
The Seed.
The Seed. It's called Seed.
Yeah, The Seed.
This would be my first time being in a movie, but I had an opportunity to do a movie years ago when I was a little kid. Bugsy Malone.
Bugsy Malone.
Oh, you remember that? With what's the name?
Yeah, with
that's the boy from
no, the girl actress.
The girl, what's her name?
Everybody was.
She was in Mean. Was it Mean?
It was like all young kids in it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in it, but my mother took me out the movie scene because
that was Scott.
Yeah.
Scott Bale.
Scott Bale.
Yeah. Everybody wants that.
And the young, what's his name?
Shooting Pies.
Yeah, Shooting Pies. Yeah. I was supposed to be in it, but my mom took me out of it because it was a running scene, and you had to run, and I had asthma real bad.
Right.
Yeah, this was back in, you say, 1974, I think.
I still own that.
Jodie Foster was the main star.
Jodie Foster, that's right. That's who I was thinking of, Jodie Foster.
And Scott Bale.
Yeah. It was all children cast.
I still own that movie.
Yeah.
So anyone watching this, make sure when it comes out next year, The Seed.
Yeah.
To the Sundance. They're going to Sundance.
Yeah, Sundance. Robert De Niro was putting it out.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you meet him on set?
No, I didn't get to meet him, but I'll hopefully get to meet him by, and I guess in November. Because we got, they're trying to put another movie together too, and stuff.
That's incredible. And let's go to AJ Rock. You're also a journalist, publisher. You got the
Black Westchester newspaper. So when the group kind of disbanded, kind of trying to stay relevant and getting hip hop, I started writing for like fanzines like Word Up and Black Beat. And then a friend of mine, Wendy Day from the Rap Coalition, she got this crazy idea that getting a rapper to review other rappers' albums. So I started writing for a lot of underground publications, and then it went on, The Source and Vibe and The Village Voice and stuff like that. So I was doing writing for a while, and then writing for other newspapers like The Daily Challenge out of Brooklyn, and eventually led to my newspaper that's 11 years old now called Black Westchester, where I live, covering all of that. I've published a couple of books.
Wow. Tell me quickly about the books.
Well, the last one, the more interesting to this is, since I live in Westchester County, I did a look at hip hop from the 914, giving you the history from, back in the days, up into the artists you do know, and like Long Island, Westchester wasn't received as one of for one of the 5 boroughs. But I had to explain, like, we're connected to the Bronx, and all these places that didn't respect it as hip hop, they got to take a bridge to get to the Bronx. Like, so I give you the whole history of all that, and then up to the Heavy D's and the DMXs and all that.
And what's the book called?
We Got Our Own Thing, which is a Heavy D song. Look at Hip Hop from the 914. It's available on Amazon.
It's also a Heavy D song where he did a great job on that song. We also recorded a song called We Got Our Own Thing years before that. And, right, his ended up getting released before us, but yeah, it's
and then
incredible.
The house thing, the label, Idlers, Warlock, who had the Jungle Brothers and had released Girl I'll House You. So since Heavy D released his We Got Our Own Thing first, the other side of that, It's a Force thing, they convinced us to do a house, turn it into a hip house version. So our We Got Our Own Thing became It's a Force thing, the hip house version.
And Mark, you got the let's go to we're gonna go Be Love. What you up to, man?
These days, within the last year, I'm normally in Atlanta, and I'm normally DJing a lot. I have a company called the Get Down Lounge, to where we do like events and stuff like that, provide audio to folks. But within the last year, once getting in touch with Marc and getting the offer to come out here, I've pretty much been trying to get everything together, the audio files for JVC, the instrumentals, digging them out, selecting what the best songs are that we would do for a show, how we can...
Can you tell me about the songs that you're doing for the show? Because this isn't going out live, or could you say?
Yeah, the show, it'll come out after the show.
What?
The interview will air after
the show,
so.
The songs that we're doing for the show, we're giving you about 3 to 4 songs off of each album, the most popular songs, whether they're fast or slow. We're performing it, and we're giving you big tracks, which was the last studio recording before we kind of went away. So we're giving you Strong Island, we're giving you your intro to dance, we're giving you your style and lyrics, we're giving you Tear the Show Up, we're giving you musical sample. We're giving you we've put together a show with probably right now like 8 or 9 of our most popular tracks, is Trivial Pursuit, and again, just within the last year, just working on getting those instrumentals together and stuff, rehearsing with AJ. Between him and I, we've been in New York and Atlanta to each other's place about 3 different times, and just trying to perfect it and get it right. And like I said, we came out here, and what we were told is, based on what we practiced and what we did a hell of a freaking show in the Netherlands. So we're looking to go ahead and bring that same show here to London, and then get back to the United States again to go over more songs and add to it, and hopefully be back.
I just want to add one thing real quick. So I want to shout out B Love, because at some point I kind of maybe gave up on my hip hop dreams, to be honest, and he wouldn't let me. And he dragged me kicking and screaming, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and I'm here. So the fact that I'm here right now, I have to give it to my brother, who would not let me quit, who always had my back when I was down or whatever. So this is my brother. Like I said, it's bigger than music for us. This is my brother.
You would not...
Yeah.
None of you would be sitting in the back of the cab now, would you?
No, and I want to thank him also, because I want to thank him for his patience in allowing me to do that, because a lot of times my thoughts failed. What you thought was going to happen didn't happen, and I thank him a lot for, being patient and sticking with me, realizing that, if we continue to pursue on, that we would eventually get here, and we're thankful that we did, Looking forward to meeting the people in great London here.
And before we get to Mark, if you want to know what JVC Force is up to and will be up to, follow us on IG, JVC Force 2025. On IG, and also on YouTube, and you'll stay abreast on everything that we got coming up.
And
next.
what's your Instagram accounts?
JVC Force 2025.
But you've got personal ones as well, isn't it?
Mr. AJ Woodson, MR AJ Woodson, WOODSON.
Yeah.
Be Love of JVC Force IG.
Yep, and we got Marc Davis, Black Pegasus.
Yeah, it's Black Pegasus _ records. But I also was going to say too, you never know. You might hear some new JVC Force over some Mo Love production, you know, coming out in the new year. And also, too, you know, I'm signed. I work with Mr. Bongo Records in the UK, outside of my own label, Black Pegasus. So I got my last record was Shot Tallow Part 2. I put out with Mr. Bongo, which did pretty well. I did Disco Gospel Part 1 with my boy Sada Bahar, who's like crazy with the disco records, and it's gospel though. And we got the new joint coming out, Disco Gospel Part 2 on Mr. Bongo, and then we have a whole LP getting ready to come out soon.
And Mark, for anyone watching, how can they support your label? Have you got something where you...
Well, I got blackpegasusmusic.com.
Yeah.
And then you can go to my IG as well to reach me on there.
Well, listen, all I can say is it's been an absolute incredible cab chat. I mean, there's obviously a lot more we could have gone into, but I know you're pushed for time. I want to take you on a personal tour around some of the sites, Buckingham Palace,
Yes.
Big Ben,
Yep.
and all them sites. And now I'm going to run you over because you've got another interview lined up as well.
Yes.
We don't want to be late for that. But listen, all I can say is I'll take my hat off to you. I salute every single one of you. You've done absolutely incredible. And thank you for bringing these tunes to our ears.
Yeah, but thank you, All City Steve. You know, the ULTRACAB.
I mean, I don't know if we can do this because I know we got this is a hip hop cab takeover. I've never had so many superstars in the back of the cab, but maybe we can rock Strong Island and play it as we're driving along or something and record it. Right, let me do an intro. So in the back of the ULTRACAB, we got the JVC Force, and they're gonna rock Strong Island live and direct from London town in the iconic cab. And I cannot wait to hear this. We might have to buckle up because there's going to be some serious flames coming out of this cab. We're going to blow the roof off. Mark, you on the record? Right, get the sirens ready. Going to kick off the sirens, and then we're going to drop the beat. Are you ready for this? Let's go. JVC in the house.
JVC in the building. In the cab. The ULTRACAB. We're gonna do it for all City Steve, y'all. Listen, to the situation, my son. I'm as serious as cancer. All fun and fun. All the time, the people correspond with the rhymes. The crew is valid. The best you will find.
Living in the CI, who the hell am I? AJ Rock the juice, I get fly. Cool with the riffing guy, keep a handle. Cause if you don't, I'll wax you down like a candle.
P-Love, I'm a top biller, part-time iller, permanent chiller, son of Sam Killer, the horror in the villa. Unlike the rest, the best, I am a thriller.
Kill it or shoot it, bind it or distribute it. But either way, the two's unconstituted. Styling and wilding, constantly smiling. We'll keep trooping in a place called Strong
Island.
Yeah.
Where we from, where we from?
Live and direct.
Where we from? Yo, I got a rep to protect. Epitomes I dissect. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but not long as an effect.
That's what the herd.
It's about out east. We got the talent eating it up like the Sunday feast.
Hear from the doctor, go get the priest, cause as of now, MCs are deceased. Straight from the mic, all trouble release. You want to slice like a cake, I'll dish you a piece.
I need a scratch, now my battery's banging. Sorry for the portrait, mean to leave you hanging. I'm good to go so that you know my words flow. I got the voice that's choice, kicking in this demo.
Fully paid with my man Andrew Jackson. My bank account Ben Franklin just maxing. So I sip chords, all my 50s I saw. Once in a while I lounge about in the kid that I brought.
Taking daily shopping sprees with major credit cards. Buying up with all disregards. Money ain't the object cause I got it to fling. My lower classes swirl the valley and the upper chest king.
On the platform, Kenny Gill, so I rate. Be complete with defeat, it's not in debate. Test your skills if you will. Let us trouble your fate. With the almighty JVC for us, the voice was so great.
Funky fresh, Strong Island.
Yeah.
Strong Island.
Kicking it live in the
Strong
back of
Island.
the ULTRACAB.
Knocking our crews by the threes and fours. Take the beat while we take a short pause. I'll give y'all some air scratches. like a video game, an errorless computer. This type of file is while I'm moved to move you and soothe your every emotion. Just put your trust in us and have devotion.
So the set is your magic potion. You rock to this like a ship that's in motion. Of the MC, take the gold tone and padding, then sink the ship like it was a Titanic.
Billy Dillon on the rocker mic right, excelling through the air like a Concorde in flight. I could chill to the max and on my place like a kite. Either way, on any day, I'm guaranteed to excite you.
Here's a preview of our ladies if you was coming in, so I'm trying to answer cause you ain't got a clue. You could bite, but it's not why. All I'll do is soup, me and be a gated, win $1 million or two.
I'm sure wherever you need, he play the corner with brew. 85 seafoods at restaurants that's new. Roll out the window in the limo while I'm cruising the dude. One out a girl, just a man to take her in for seduce.
Playing the field, serving no kind of use, lingering on for the funky rhymes of a dude. Jerry Woods is my name, aka AJ. Shut your mouth in the situation you ain't got to say. Sean Allen, where we from? Where we from? Sean Allen. Sean Allen, where we from? Where we from? Sean Allen.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That's good. That's good. That's
Listen,
good.
absolutely legendary.